back and enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours, man.
And just like that, Joe, we got to talk about the AFC North. I mean, you said it's been rivalry week. Shout out to Amazon Prime for setting up the rivalry games. I mean, some of them been bad, some of them been good, but we could say that the percentage of good games on Amazon Prime this year have been way better than the last few years. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to them for finding a way to make games interesting, and shout out for James Winston for keeping everybody entertained, even if you didn't think the game was entertaining. You know what I mean? But we have debates on this platform all the time. I feel as though we have them about offensive players. There's been quite a few about just defensive players. And it's been one team that's always been in the mix. It's always been the Steelers. We had Vaughn representing Troy Polamalu at one point. We had Vaughn come on in represent TJ Watt at another point. Then, Kev came on here and he talked about, that Eagle. I forgot his name.
Brian Dawkins.
I was lying. I just didn't want to say it. But yeah,
Don't
Brian,
forget about his Hurts and Lamar debate too.
I was gonna say Hurts, Lamar. We had Dak. We had Dak and Hurts. We
Oh,
had Jordan and LeBron. Like we have a lot of debates on here.
CD and AJ Brown.
I mean, well, see, that was our conversation. We didn't really have the debate. I ain't had a debate with an Eagles fan. We had a
Okay,
conversation.
you right. You better get some great points though.
I mean, yeah, all the way up until this season. But still, he's still fourth in the league in wide receiver. But we're not talking about them. But it's this defensive player and this AFC North where everyone keeps talking about just one player. I know the Browns aren't that good, but another defensive player had a lot to say. Joe, drop the video for us.
Let's get it.
I've never complained about the trophy not being in my house, and vice versa. He shouldn't be feeling two ways about it going to me. So we're just gonna play the game. I don't play against TJ. He doesn't play against me, but we'll have a plan to go out and do what we're supposed to, win the game, and dominate on defense. But it's up for grabs this year, and we'll see the best man win.
No, not really. I mean, I have respect for everybody in the league. Obviously, a guy who's been a top passer in the league for a long time. But I don't compete directly against him. It's our team versus their team. And at the end of the day, I just want the Pittsburgh Steelers to come out with a win.
Absolutely. I know they got a guy over there who's former defensive player of the year. He's special in his own right. But I came to show that I'm the guy. I'm number one right now, and I'm not going anywhere.
Woo!
And not going anywhere is correct. Because a lot of people are saying after that 24-19 victory on Thursday night, the Browns had something to say. But Carl somewhere in the comments saying, Tom, I told you something about them division games, man. You can't just sleep on them. Joe, do you think Myles Garrett is miles above the competition?
Whoa.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But who's the better defensive? Is Myles Garrett the best defensive player in football? That's the question right now.
Hey, listen, man. First, I want to address a comment he said. Shout out to your comment. I like the competitiveness, but he said this year is up for grabs, bro. You're not in the race. I'm sorry. Y'all 3-8. I'm sorry. Blame your team. All right, blame your offense.
Blame your
but is he the best defensive player of the year? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna still say it's TJ Watt. I like TJ Watt, but what I will say is that Myles, because I also thought TJ Watt deserved it last year. But people said Myles Garrett got it. But he did get it. But I like the competitiveness he has. Like when they asked him about it, he embraced it and said, like, yes, like I'm looking forward to this. It's a rivalry team, and then you got that guy on the other side. Obviously, it gives me extra boost. TJ Watt kind of downplayed it. So I'm not sure if TJ Watt didn't take it personal like Myles Garrett took it personal, because Myles Garrett, he showed up in that game. Now, we talk about who was the best defensive player yesterday, Tomo. It was Myles Garrett. So I went back and watched that whole game. I know you talked about opening statement saying like, hey, it's entertaining for some people it wasn't. It was for me. And it was sloppy football, Tomo, but all that snow and like James Winston, you feel me? Like Njoku drop pass in the end zone, fumbles. I mean, it was just, like Russell Wilson throwing bombs. Like, oh, he wide open. That's how he like this. looking for the ball. So it was like so much chaos, but it was very entertaining. I rewatched it this morning, and every play, T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, they either got chipped or double. Almost every play. The 3 times Myles Garrett did not get doubled or chipped, Tomo, he got a sack. The 3 times. All 3 times he didn't either get chipped or double. He made it home and got a sack. And he forced a fumble also. So he was balling. And I think he had multiple, he had the numbers right here. Multiple tackles for loss. He had 3 tackles for loss. Now, TJ Watt didn't get home. TJ Watt didn't get a sack. TJ Watt only had like 1 tackle for loss. TJ Watt didn't have a TJ Watt type game. And I thought he would because shout out to my bro Vaughn. Vaughn always says that they have the best defensive line in the NFL. So you would assume that TJ Watt will have an easier route quarterback versus Myles Garrett, who gave up their second best defensive lineman, Zadarius Smith, to the Detroit Lions. But he wrecked that game. He definitely took that personal. But overall, I'm going to say TJ Watt still. TJ Watt is having a better season. TJ Watt is leading the league in forced fumbles. He's leading the league and he's tied with Myles Garrett with tackles for loss. Myles Garrett does have more sacks. What I like about TJ over Myles Garrett, TJ plays way more snaps than Myles Garrett. This like overall for the season, TJ Watt 91% of his snaps he played on defense. Myles Garrett 75%. Some people might say, "Oh, he's been injured." Well, he was healthy yesterday. He played 77% last night, and TJ Watt played 95%. So like TJ Watt is always on the field. It was a lot of times I'm watching on key. I think on a key 3rd down or 4th down, Myles Garrett wasn't even in the game. I'm like, dang, what's going on? So maybe that's coaching. Maybe that's just I don't know what it is. But for the game, Myles Garrett. But overall, I'm taking TJ Watt.
I'm with you on that one, Joe. For the game, I'll give it to Myles Garrett. But when the question came up and I looked at it, because again, the clip. Shout out to you for getting the clip, and I added a little bit more context to the question because I was like, "That's defensive play and that's defensive play." I was like, "Well, TJ Watt impact on the game is just not him getting sacks. Like it's literally like he can get you a strip, he can get you an interception. I mean, he forces fumbles. His name just being on that side of the field, you always got a roll protection over there. But then I was like, well, roll protection. We had to do the same thing for Myles Garrett because I had to think about the Cowboys' first game. They did have Zadarius Smith, but they was like, well, they got Zadarius Smith, but we got to make sure our rookie left tackle don't get killed by Myles Garrett. And that's exactly what they did. They rolled all the protection over there that way. Then I also had to go back and think about a Cowboys game. And I was like, wow, we really just played both of them. TJ Watt definitely had more impact in the game than Myles Garrett had as far as what happened in the Cowboys game because TJ Watt forced Dak to fumble the football. That could have definitely changed the way the landscape of that game. So when we talk about defensive players, I don't think he's miles above the competition, as the title would say. I would say he's a good defensive player. I would say he's a great pass rusher because you definitely got to account for him. I just think he's being overshadowed right now because of the team that he's on. There's a lot of controversy just around the Browns, so he can't really shine as a defensive player that he actually is versus what TJ Watt has on his side, where it's like every single time you see TJ Watt, one, he came into the league with a brother who was already doing the same exact thing, so that kind of helped too. They was like, well, look at him, he's just like his brother, and then the conversation rolled over into saying, well, hey, he's better than his brother, and in some sense, I mean, he's been proving it a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna go too far, but JJ would be like, I mean, bro is kind of having a stellar season. And what's funny is both of them could have been Cowboys too, but that's another story for another day. I'm gonna go with TJ Watt as the best defensive player. I'm not gonna say, man, in football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aaron Donald don't play no more. It's a youngin' in Philly that if he get his mind right, he could be another Aaron Donald. TJ Watt might be up there, Joe.
Yeah,
he might be up there.
Make it the best.
I think Myles Garrett get a better offense around him. He can definitely make some noise. But as far as those comments in the video, I like what Myles Garrett did. He was like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, we don't play against each other, but we do impact the game on that defensive side. So if I can make a bigger impact and win this game, it is me versus you. Because at the end of the day, it happens with cornerbacks, it happens with wide receivers, it happens with quarterbacks. Like if I can make a bigger impact and win the game, then it's really me versus you.
Especially in the snow. Like they,
At home.
yeah. So I will say this though, pass rusher, Myles Garrett is probably the best because he's a full-time pass rusher.
Yeah.
TJ Watt, I mean, yesterday it looked like that. Like he rushed the passer every single time for us. So I would say TJ Watt is number one, but Myles Garrett is number two, and he might be the second best defensive player. Period. You know what I mean? I just gotta sit and think for real. But like probably number two. Last year when he won defensive player of the year, there were multiple games when he wrecked by himself. When they played the Colts, he was wrecking that game, but they defense was getting points put up on, and that's not all on my. Sometimes the secondary and stuff like that. Like, I think he forced a like tell you in the comments. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He like forced a fumble. He had an interception. I think he returned one from a touchdown. Like he did all this stuff. They still lost. Like so. But Tay, I do want to address one comment. He said, imagine if he had 95 snaps. See, the thing about him not playing 95% of his snaps, he's more fresh. You know what I mean?
His impact should be better.
Yeah, he's so the snaps he's playing, he's much better because he's fresher. Like TJ Watt played 95% of the snaps yesterday in the snow. Like, bro, like,
and a great example for that, Tay, is Dante Fowler. Like when Dante Fowler, not with y'all, he get way more snaps with y'all. But when he was on the Cowboys, when he literally got in the game, every time Dante Fowler got in the game, he made a play. So that right there lets you know the less snaps is like, look, I know I'm not about to get on the field, so I got to make something happen every single time I'm out here, and that's what he do.
Hey, shout out to the Cowboys. He balling. I think he got like him and TJ Watt got to say about the sacks. I think 7.5.
You said TJ? Yeah. Nah, I looked at it. He up there. Nah, Dante got 8.5.
My bad, Dante. My bad, bro.
All right, bro.
My bad. I cut you short. My bad. 8.5 sacks. And I heard it today. You heard my man Dan Quinn said, or not Dan Quinn, Joe Witt. He said I give credit to Ryan Kerrigan. Yeah, because he's one of our linebacker coaches. Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan.
Let's talk about the Giants, man.
That's what he said. Let's get it.
I don't like giving credit to him. Man, get out of here. When are you gonna do the little celebrate when you get a sack?
Hey, he might do that on Sunday. I don't know. He gonna get a sack Sunday.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Y'all not playing Daniel Jones.
Cooper Rush.
And Cooper Rush is way better than Daniel Jones.
Yo, I